Okay, the Gemara had said, we cited 3 psukim to learn shlichus. We have one pasuk by get, right? V'shilach v'shilcho, that the man could make the shliach, the woman is able to make a shliach. Then we have the pasuk gamatem by truma, that the only one who's able to tithe the produce is only the owner of the produce. Nevertheless, if the owner chooses to appoint a shliach, the shliach is able to do the hafrosha, is able to do the tithing. And the third pasuk we had was by Kochim, by Korban Pesach. It says, V'shochlu so kol adas b'nei Yisrael. So the Gemara says, or B'shum Mekach says, it's possible. Everybody's able to slaughter the same animal. It's not possible. The answer is they appointed him to be a shliach. He's their agent. So when he slaughters, it's the equivalent of raw slaughtering. So we learn shluch shlom kaboso. So I asked the question, why do we learn truma and get? We should learn from what? From Kochim. So says you're not able to learn from Kochim because rov maseo is al yidei shliach. Because the majority of the activities of Kochim has to be through an intermediary. Because mikabel aveila, from receiving the blood onward, the only one who's qualified to do that is who? Is only the Kohen. So since rov maseh is al shliach, so Samar asks, and get, right? Those two. Torah would have only said shliach by get and by Korban Pesach. Why did Torah have to say shliach by truma, right? If you're going to tell me because kochim is al yidei machshava, right? That's why the Torah, or al yidei shliach, because rov maseh, we say get yochiach. You see, by gerushin it's not. And if you're going to say get is chulin, is chol compared to truma, kochim yochiach. So from the two words, so what does it have to say? Gam atem, the word gam is superfluous. This is where we left off yesterday. It's interesting. Mara says, why am I not able to learn from Kochim? Because rov maseo al yidei shliach. The majority of the activity of the service is through an intermediary. Even though we showed yesterday, Rachmana, right? We have a principle. You cannot be a shliach, representative person in an area where he himself, right? Whatever you could do, you could create a shliach to represent you, because he is you, because you're able to do the same thing. But let's say something that only a Kohen is qualified to do, Kabbalas Adam, receiving the blood, transporting the blood, sprinkling the blood, he cannot be you because you're not able to do that. So what does it mean? Shlich means it's delegated. The majority of the activities of the korban are delegated. It's through an intermediary. So because it's through an intermediary, the Torah allows shchita also to be through an intermediary. Even though the intermediary of the shchita is different than the intermediary of the rest of the avodos. Why? Because regarding the avodah shlich kamoso, literally, and that's why I pointed out, that's what Shuman Korcha says, it's kamoso. It's literally, it's you. Regarding the others, it's not kamoso. But in regard to shchita, it is kamoso, because shchita is ksheir bizarre, because even a non-Kohen is able to do the shchita. Right? This is how we learned yesterday. Now, it's interesting. We're going to have the Gemara, the whole discussion of ein shlich ledvar avera. We're going to have this later in this parak. That if a person appoints a shliach to do an avera, what's the halacha? Ein shlich ledvar avera. A shlichus is a chidush, so that you're able to delegate something through an intermediary, but to do an avera, so the Gemara is going to say it's a pasuk, it's a svara, divrei Rav, divrei Talmud, divrei Mishomim. If the master commands you to do something, or the subject says, who do you listen to? Do you listen to the master, or do you listen to the subject? Right? The Gemara is opposite svara. Divrei Rav, divrei that person who's a mesis, a person who's a mesis, a person who encourages or tries to convince a person to go do idolatry, we don't try to mimlamet schus on the person. We don't give chance. Why? Because learned from the Nochash, who seduced Adam Mechavetir of the Eitz Hadas, the Nochash, the snake. The snake could have come with a defense to defend himself. So he says to the snake, "Why did you eat of the tree of knowledge?" The snake didn't respond. He says, "Therefore, you're going to be condemned, whatever." God, he could have said to God. He says, "Look." He could have said better. He says, "You said they shouldn't listen. What am I? I'm a nothing. Why? You know something? Why am I at fault? Who told them to listen to me? If they would be truly your servants, dedicated to you, they shouldn't have listened, and it would have been a valid point, right? They're the ones who failed. It's true. I offered it, but who told them to listen? They shouldn't have listened." It would have been a defense. It would have been a degree of defense. I mean, still he tried to entice them, but it would have been a defense. Since he didn't, but Hashem should have said that. So you see, when it comes to seduction, where a person has that sinister intent, as not come to the defense of the snake, and he threw the book at the snake, full condemnation by the snake. So, no, that doesn't make a difference. But no. Well, basis depends. It speaks specifically for avodah zarah. For avodah zarah. No. Avodah zarah. Mesis is the case of a person said, "Let's air any dachas," or a person came to try to convince people to go do idolatry a city, right? They could say, Right.
It seems that in the context of the Mattos itself, it has the purpose of being moda ala emes. It won't, the Yitzhar doesn't try to defend itself ultimately. It could have kind of, and it didn't. It's kind of
What, the snake?
the snake could have kind of.
Didn't think of it.
Smart enough.
He didn't think of it. You only think about what God allows you to think of. The Gemara says in Gittin that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the Roman emperor, said to him, I'll allow you to ask for three things. So one, he asked the base make shouldn't be destroyed. So Gemara cites a pasuk from Mishlei that the times that even the wise man, Hashem causes him to be backward. That's why he didn't think of it, because God didn't want him to think of it. That's one answer in the Gemara. You could be the person, you have like a certain blind spot. Why do you have the blind spot? Because God wants you to have the blind spot. So if God wants you to be condemned, the defense that you could have thought of, you don't think of. Although the times where you think of everything, in this context, you're not going to think of it. Okay, well, we'll get there. So it's interesting. Except the Gemara says the two exceptions. We say Yeshlich Dvar Aveira. Normally, we don't say Yeshlich Dvar Aveira. The two exceptions. What is it? Me'ilo, and Dal Vei. Me'ilo. You're not permitted to benefit. Right? Person benefits from Hegdish inadvertently. Person benefits from Hegdish inadvertently. He has to pay Keren, principal, Chomesh, a fifth, plus he. So let's see, the Gemara is going to say a person has two bags of money. One bag of money is consecrated money, the other is. And he makes a bag thinking it's the ordinary money and go purchase something on my behalf. So the person takes Hegdish's money to purchase it. So when he makes the purchase, he's being moel, right? When he gives the money to the storekeeper, that's called benefiting. The moment he does that, he has all these consequences. Principal, because the money becomes ordinary money. Principal, chomesh, a fifth, plus he has to bring a korban. Wait. Whoever is moel, whoever does this. So it says if you make a shliach, the one who commissioned him, correct, is based on a pasuk. That's the exception to the rule. So Mara says, so what do we learn from there? This is because if you slaughter it or you sell it, just as when you sell something, there's another person involved. So the tficha could also be through a third party. That's how the Gemara learns that we say yesh l'chadvar. So if you commission a person steals an animal, an ox or a sheep, and he tells the person to slaughter it on his behalf. The halacha is, if he slaughters himself, what's the liability? Dal veg. This knas, 4 and 5 times its value. What about if he points a shliach that the shliach should slaughter it? Normally we should say, ein shlich dvar avera. Because the context of shlichus is in context of avera. Since it says utvacha umecharo, just as mechira is through a third party, you can't sell something unless there's a third party involved. Identically, tvicha could also be through a third party, right? Even if you delegate the shechita through a third party, you have the liability. Although, no, there he knows. He knows. Even if he knows, doesn't know, it doesn't make a difference. The one who appointed him to shliach has liability as if he slaughtered himself. So there's a ktsos achoshem. We're going to have it later. We're going to discuss it. Is it shlichus? What's the loch shlichus kamoso? Right? When you make a shlich to marry a woman, Torah says the husband has to do the act of marriage. Correct? The husband has to give the get. It's not because you caused the get to be given. The shliach is you. That's kamoso. The husband must marry the wife. The husband must divorce the wife. It's not because the husband caused the divorce or caused the giving of the object of value. By Dalet Vehei, these two exceptions by Mila, he shows it's not the conventional shliach. Because you caused hegdish to be expended in a context where it's used for an ordinary usage, not for hegdish, you're liable. Because you caused the animal that was stolen, was through you as a result of what you did. The animal was slaughtered, you're liable. What's the halachic difference? He shows it from the Rambam, that it's not the conventional shliach. So what's the proof? What happens, look, what happens if a non-Jew does an act of shechita? It's not shechita, right? Only a Jew is qualified to do shechita. Let's say you steal a shor senya, you tell a non-Jew, shoot the animal. Or just decapitate it. It's not shechita. So therefore, of course, so over there, the reason why the goy cannot be a shliach, not only because he has no relevance to shlichus, he has no relevance to shechita. Shechita is not an act of shechita, correct? Has to be halachic shechita. But what about in regard to Mila? A non-Jew, you tell a non-Jew, take the bag of money and go purchase something you might have. Does he have a liability where the goy cannot be a shliach? But it doesn't make a difference. But he delegated through an intermediary. So it shows from the Rambam that even though it's not the conventional shliach to say shlich shem kamoso, but since through his direction, instruction, the money was expended for something which is not hegdish, he has the liability. It's causality. There, it's causality. Causality. But the causality has to be through the person. It's not a causality of grumma. It's not like the ordinary grumma. The thief, the one who stole it. The one who delegated it through to the goy. Go take the bag of money, go purchase something on my behalf. The goy can't be a shliach. Doesn't make a difference. He still has the liability. We say yesh shliach ledvar. So there's shliach. Yeah, even though shliach doesn't mean shliach over there. It means the one through who you delegated it. See, by dalve it can't be a goy because the shechita of a goy is not a shechita. It's not called an act of shechita. It's called he killed the animal. Where? Definitely. That's like a go. That's of course he'll be liable. Be liable. Yeah, there's no relevance to the one who sent him either.
I thought we said it's that if the thief possessional value or some sort of ownership value in order to make him liable.
That's ones. They can make him liable for ones. It's knas. It's knas. Okay, let's go further. The Gemara originally had started, we quoted a Mishnah, that the Mishnah says that if a person appoints somebody to be a shliach, to be mafresh truma, to tithe the truma. So we said that a person can either take a 40th, a 50th, 60th. So if he knows exactly the mindset of the one who commissions him to be the shliach, so whatever the das balabais is, that's what he's supposed to do. What happens if he's not sure? He's not sure what the balabais wants. So what should he do? He should give the what the average is. What happens if he gives more or less? Truma to truma. Okay, let's do the top tosis. Pichas yuro hosif yud truma to truma. Pirush b'kunchis. Okay, it's not relevant. Rashi learns what the pichas is. The kosher, the first narrow line tosis. The maishna mihod the omar. How do we reconcile this with the Gemara above Mitzio? Ha'omer l'shlucho. Yaseu Trom. Person says to his agent, I want you to take Truma. V'holach v'toram. And he went, and he took Truma. Im omalo balabais klach etzel yofos. So let's say the balabais, after he takes Truma, he says, go to the best. Im nitzu yofos mehen Trumos Truma. If you find better quality within the crop, within the produce, what he took is valid. V'mlav ein Trumos Truma. But if you don't, that means he's opposed to what he did. Again, let's say you have different grades within the grain. You have better quality grain, mediocre grain, inferior grain. And he says, Tim, the owner, he says, he goes and he takes it, and then he says, why don't you take from the best? And let's say there's nothing better. That means what he's saying to him is, what did you do? Yeah, you might as well take the shirt off my back, right? You should have, he meant you weren't authorized to take from that. But if you do find better, then what he took is valid. I mean, I wanted you to be my shluch. Okay? Didn't want you to be, because you took some. I'm agreement. So the question of him, umukali hosam, what's the case? The Gemara explains what is the case of that particular brisa. He appointed him to be his agent. Because he didn't say explicitly, I want you to take from the best. If he said, I want you to take from the best, he took from the best, okay, so that was the agency. But if he didn't say that, and he took from the best, and he indicates he's opposed for that, again, he's opposed to that, then it's not valid. That means you're not my shliach. I never want you to represent me to do something I didn't want. Yet here we say that it could either be 1/40th, 1/50th, 1/60th. Even if he takes the largest percentage, and the Balabai says, but I didn't want you to do that, it's valid. Why wasn't valid? Just as over there we say when the Balabais is opposed to what he says, he expresses his displeasure that he did the wrong thing, he doesn't represent him. So over here, why do we say Truma so Truma, even though he took the larger percentage? If he takes the average, you say you're the average. But it says even if he takes 1/40th, it's considered a valid tithing. No. Over there he doesn't know either. Doesn't know, same thing. I appoint him, go tithe my, and then afterwards he says, and he sees what he took. And he took from the best. So he says to him, why don't you take from the best? That's his comment he makes to the it says it's not valid. Because he says, I never want you to take from my best. That kind of comment means, yeah, he's revealing, I never want you to take from my best. So over here, when he takes 1/40th, he says, I'm opposed to it. I'm an ordinary person. I only wanted 1/50th. And yet it says here, it's irrelevant what he says. So why over here is it irrelevant? And the Gemara above Mitzvah, it's very relevant. If he reveals his displeasure with what he did, he doesn't represent him. I never want you to represent me in that context. Right? So how do we reconcile the two? You don't hear the question, David. But again, it's the question of cost, of value. The better quality means it's a greater value, right? The better quality has greater value than the lesser quality. No, it's taken from the same percentage. It's the same grain. You can take 1/40th, 1/50th, 1/60th, right? Afterwards, the man says, something, I really want you to take 1/60th, not 1/40th. It says truma or truma. We're not differentiating. Whatever he does is valid, even if the balabais is opposed to it. Doesn't make a difference.
Maybe the idea is that within the 1/40th is the 1/50th. Whereas within the quality, one quality is not contained within the other quality.
Okay, let's see Tosas. I think Tosas is better. I'm not going to explain to you why your answer is not the right answer. Shlomar. The Hosamaynu time. The average person, when he tithes, he doesn't tithe from the best quality. We're talking about quality. We're talking quality versus quantity. Here we're talking about quantity. right? Percentage. The average person tithes from the mediocre quality, not from the best quality. So therefore, when he says, that's not what I wanted, so clearly, he says, look, I'm from the majority. So unless I indicate I want the best, I don't want the best. Many people, they do tithe generously. The two things. Quantity is generosity. Quality is something else. Quality I want to reserve for myself quality. Right? Or because it has a certain level of value. Therefore, the agent could say, look, I evaluate it. What? You're like the average. Therefore, it's irrelevant what you say. Meaning, we say, even though you say that's not what I wanted, unless it's clear in advance that you're not part of the average, we assume you are the average. It's like a dvarim shebelev.
But the average was 150.
No. We say no, but since there are many people who give generously, no, we say, again, there are many people, say if it's still dvarim shebelev. Unless it's blatantly clear, it's not, it's dvarim shebelev.
Okay.
So if it's dvarim shebelev, it's irrelevant what you say.
The same thing you can say with the...
No. People don't. Most people don't give of the best quality. They don't.
But they do give 140.
140 they do give. Many people do give 140. Quantity they will give.
The guy's assumption who's doing
No, not our assumption. Not our assumption. How we evaluate society. Right?
Just differentiating between product and quantity.
Exactly. Right. Quantity, quality. That's what we're differentiating.
The rationale is really what Toss is saying, the reasonableness of your assumption, of the assumption of the reasonableness.
Right. I
No one
understand.
takes good
But it's based on that it becomes a dvarim shebelev. But therefore it becomes a dvarim shebelev. We say dvarim shebelev ain't a dvarim. What a person thinks in his heart means nothing. It has to be obvious. So since taking from the best, it's obvious that most people don't want that. So unless you instructed to do that, I didn't want that. Yeah, but I understand. The evaluation determines what is obvious and what's not obvious. It's not obvious, then it's irrelevant what you tell me. Because I say, you know something, maybe you were part of the average. That many of the average people want even 1/40th. Therefore, unless it's blatantly clear it's not, it is.
If you look at it in terms of the shliach, right, he doesn't know what the master wants or what the...
He's assuming it.
He's got to assume. So what Tosfos is saying is...
He has a right to assume it.
He has a right to assume.
Because
the reasonable assumption.
Right, correct.
That's all.
But exactly.
If he's outside that reasonable assumption.
Exactly.
Shlichus is void.
If the man reveals that's not what he wanted. Exactly.
But going back to the case with when you take the better quality fruit, even though he made an assumption that wasn't the wrong, I understand that. But the guy didn't specify it. He made him a shliach. How does it work that, you take truma from me, and I didn't want you to take from best quality, and therefore the truma is negated?
Because it's clear. There's a principle. Let's talk. If there's something that's an anand sadi, we could all attest to a fact that a person would be opposed to this. Are you my shliach? I wasn't clear when I appointed you, but it's obvious from the presumption of the way people behave, this is not what I wanted. Are you my shliach? Definitely not my agent.
Even though you didn't specify.
Even though you don't, because it's obvious. That's accepted. I don't have to express it. I'll give you. We had Tosas before in the first parak. Matonam naslahachzir. Right? I give you an esrog to be yotzei. Matonam naslahachzir. And then afterwards, you don't give it back to me. Well, you yotzi with the esrog. Halach zinat. So Tosas asks, we ruled that when you make a tanai, you have to express both sides of the condition. And if you don't express both sides of the condition, it's not a valid precondition. It's not a valid tanai. Tosas says, since it's with absolute certainty, when a man gives you a gift to return, he means that it has to be returned, even if you don't speak out both sides of the condition, it's as if you did speak it out. Because it's without question. When the man says, I want it back, he wants it back. Although we normally say, Losi Dibur Batal Meiser, right? Unless it conforms with all the principles of what a condition is. But if it's beyond doubt, this is what the person wants, it's like you spoke it out. Because that's how blatantly clear it is. The Gemara uses a term, I give you money to do a deal for me. And I said clearly what I want, and you think you can do a better deal for me. And then and then after you lose my money. I never authorized the other deal. So the person has the right to say, I sent you as my agent to do good for me, not to cause me a financial loss. Right? It's clear. You thought that would bring me profits, but you were never authorized to the other deal. So clearly, I made you an agent to this deal, deal A, not deal B. You thought deal B would be better than deal A. It's irrelevant. But you know something? Don't do me any favors. I want my money to be secure. So you're not my agent to cause me a financial loss. Therefore, it's not valid. The man has to reimburse him with the money that he was unauthorized to invest.
So what happens to that truma now?
Many years ago, I had a case. Many years ago. No. If it's the other way, he says it's. No. Many years ago, I had a case. In 1970, what the value of American money in Israel had great value. You were able to buy svarim for nothing, literally. So when I was there, I purchased svarim in a certain store, and it was like a tenth of what it would cost here in America. The same, which was imported to the States. So somebody was going to Israel the next summer. I said to him, do me a favor, take my money and buy me this and this at this particular store, which I bought. Comes back, he says, I found a phenomenal place. 50% of what you paid and what you bought, I bought it for you. And I remember I gave him $60 to buy me svarim. Comes back, he says, it's unbelievable what I got. Prices I got for you, you can't believe these prices. Okay? I said, when is the svarim coming? It's coming by boat. It'll take 3 months to arrive. I waited 3 months. I waited a year. I waited 5 years. I waited 10 years. They never came. So I said, I understand why the price was so cheap. The man never intended to send the svarim. So about 14 years later, I came back to Israel, and I went to that svarim store this person purchased it. And I said, and by then, you couldn't get any longer the value. For that money, you're not getting those svarim. So I go in, I said, at this certain date, this certain person came and purchased in my name. He looks in his book. It's written. And it's written he never sent the svarim. So he says to me, he says, okay, I'll give you $60 worth of svarim of today. This is what the man says to me. I said, you know something? You want to be a ganef? Keep the money. I'm not interested in the svarim. He kept the money. That's the story. He's doing me a favor. He found for me a place, literally 50% of what I paid for it. Sure, when the man's not interested in it, doesn't intend to send the svarim, he'll give you any price. The tkuni shadatich, the real person I could have claimed from is from him. He had no right. I said explicitly, this is where I want you to buy it. Don't do me any favors. Go find me somewhere else where the man happened to turn out to be a thief.
You have good records.
I was mochalim. I didn't want him to be a thief because of myself. I said, no, it's the same thing. It has to be revealed. No, I don't have to make it. Until I see that it's a loss, right? The Gemara says, "L'tkuni sh'datich lo lavosi sh'datich."
3 months, 6 months.
Whatever it was, after what I saw, something. I didn't want to make a claim against him. I was willing to let it go. No statute of limitations.
He's got a good set of records.
What?
He has a very good set of records for a thief.
No, he just had it in his book because he had to show them in. He wrote it in his book that for export. Not only he got for export, he gets a deduction on it.
Right.
He gets money back from the government. In those days, today I'm not sure. Okay.
So if the person ended up not being the shliach for the truma, that truma goes back.
It's not valid. It's tevel. It's tevel.
Right.
Okay. Let's go further. So the Gemara is asking now if I'm able to learn truma from a tzara shaveh. We said, how do we know shlichus by truma? Because it says gam. The word gam is superfluous. But the Gemara asks, but if I have kochim, where the Torah says clearly you could bring about shechita through an agent, and you have gershin, also able to do it to an agent. I'm able to learn truma from the two of them, tzara shaveh. So gam is superfluous. On that, the Gemara answer is, it's true. I don't need the word gam to tell me that you're able to delegate it. You're able to make a shlich v'afroshes truma. Hochanamig elo atem gam atem lomali miboilich Reb Yanai. I need the word gam for what Reb Yanai says. What is Reb Yanai? Dom Reb Yanai gam atem ma atem b'nei bris av shluchim b'nei bris. As you are a b'nei bris, a ben bris means you're a Jew. Your agent has to be a Jew. And if he's not a Jew, he's not qualified to be your agent regarding Truma. So if you appoint a non-Jew to be your agent for Truma, it's not valid. Because he's not a Jew. He has to be a Jew. So it's a question. Loma likro, what do we need a pasuk to tell me that the non-Jew is not qualified to be the agent for Truma because he's not a Jew? Mirchi barabo. We're able to draw that same conclusion from Chi Barabba said named Rabbi Yochanan. Dom Rabbi Chi Barabba Rabbi Yochanan. Ein eved nase shlich lekabel get miyad bailo shalisho. An eved Kanani who's a semi-Jew, chayv mitzvahs kisho. He has the same obligation as a woman, regard to mitzvahs. But yet, if he's appointed as the agent of the woman to receive the get on her behalf, correct? She appoints him. He's not a valid agent. Why? Fisheinu b'toras gitnu kiddushin. Because he has no relevance to bring about this particular result. He has no relevance to marriage. Wait. That's the Gemara's answer. Wait. So let's stop for a moment. So yesterday, Ernie had difficulty with this a little bit, right? Let's say a person goes and he appoints a monkey to receive the get. Woman says, or a dog, right? Receive the get. And he goes, you put the get in the mouth of the dog, and the dog takes it. Well, the woman sent the dog, and this is an obedient dog. Never defies the order of its master. Is it a get? So what does the dog have to do with get? Well, what do you mean? But the dog is accepting it on behalf of its master. No, it's not a chutzah. So good. So and when it's a goy, the goy also, it's not in her hand. It's only in her hand if it's a shliach. The answer is because a dog has no relevance to get in the kiddushin. David also has the same no relevance to get in the kiddushin. It's not because the dog's not a human being. Wait a second. Listen to what we're talking about. Right? The only person can be a shliach, you have to have relevance to be a representative in this context. You could only be the woman if you could be married. A non-Jew has no relevance to marriage. So therefore, you cannot represent the woman as being a married person because you have no relevance to marriage. Identically, the dog has no relevance to marriage. The goy has no relevance to marriage. Therefore, you cannot be the representative of the woman. So let's say a non-Jew has no relevance to Hafroshes Truma. Cannot bring about that result in any circumstance. Therefore, you cannot represent the owner of the field who can tithe because you have no relevance to bring about that effect. So if that's the case, what do we need a pasuk to say that a non-Jew is not qualified? In Hafroshes Truma, logically, I know he's not qualified. So now the Gemara will say, well, there is an opinion that he is qualified. That's the Gemara's question. Why do we need a pasuk? It's a svara. No, I just give you an example. For kiddushin, we don't have a pasuk. Is the dog the woman? Is the dog the woman? The wood dog's not a human being. No, it's the asset of the woman. It's the asset. No, but it says you have to put it in her hand. No, it has to go from the husband directly into the hand of the wife. Unless the intermediary is the hand of the woman, it's nothing. She's not divorced. To be continued.